Bob Marley, legend, icon, rebel. But behind the music, behind the fame, there was a life full of love, heartbreak, and more secrets than most people ever knew. You've heard the songs, but do you know the real story behind the women and children that shaped his world? One child, unclaimed, doubted, and born after his death, would shake the Marley legacy to its core. You won't believe what happened next. Bob wasn't just the king of reggae. He was the king of complicated relationships. By the time he passed, there were women from all corners claiming their kids carried Bob's blood. Most of those claims fizzled out. But one hit hard, really hard. Because this child came from a woman that Bob's wife, Rita Marley, absolutely couldn't stand. Thing is, Rita always knew Bob wasn't just hers. In Jamaica, having kids with multiple women wasn't unusual. They called the women baby mothers, and the men baby fathers. It was just part of life. Bob had a big heart and an even bigger family. But when he died, the legal battles started. Only 11 children were officially recognized. Of those, just 3 were born to Rita: Sadella, Ziggy, and Stephen. The rest? Different mothers, different stories. Like former Miss World Cindy Breakspear, who gave birth to Damien. There was Janet, mother of Rohan, who later became a football player in the US. Rita even helped raise some of the others: Karen, Julian, Kaimani, Robbie, some born in England, some in Jamaica. And even Stephanie, who wasn't Bob's by blood but was embraced by him anyway. But not everyone was accepted so easily. Let's talk about Cindy. She wasn't just any woman. She was tall, light-skinned, from uptown Kingston. A total contrast to Bob's Trenchtown roots. They met at 56 Hope Road, the home Bob made famous. He was the voice of the ghetto. She was the beauty queen from the hills. To some, it didn't make sense. To others, it was betrayal. Even Bob's bandmate Peter Tosh had a problem with it. He was furious Bob was involved with a white woman, as he put it. But when he showed up at Hope Road ready to confront Bob, he left quietly after a calm conversation. Music over madness. Always. Still, the tension between Rita and Cindy was very real. There was an unforgettable moment in Miami when Rita flew in with the kids, unannounced. Cindy was already staying at the house. You could cut the awkward with a knife. Bob, caught in the middle, started sleeping on the couch. Cindy packed up and left. It was clear. When Rita was around, Bob chose peace. Or maybe just silence. But drama wasn't just with Cindy. There was another woman, Ivy, or Yvette, depending on who you ask. She was loud, lively, from Philly, and had a past in radio. Bob met her in California, and they got close fast. She even stayed at his mother's house, and later worked for the Movement of Jah People, Bob's fan outreach team. At first, everyone got along. But soon, things got messy. Yvette and Bob drifted. She clung on, wrote long letters, called constantly. And one day, she and Bob's mother had a blowout, literally. A slap in the car, tears, police, and a dramatic "I'm leaving" scene that turned out to be more noise than action. But here's where it gets real. Bob was already very sick. Cancer had spread. The end was near. And that's when Yvette dropped a bomb. She was pregnant. She said the baby could be Bob's. Bob's mom didn't believe her until she mentioned the due date. May 11th, Bob's birthday. Suspicious, right? Even Bob didn't confirm it. All he said was, "She told me she's pregnant, not that it's mine." Still, his mom made a promise. If the baby was his, she'd look after her. Weeks after Bob died, Yvette showed up with the baby girl, Makeda. Beautiful, healthy, and full of questions that no one could answer. Yvette disappeared for a bit, but then came back, desperate and broke. She was asking for help. Bob's mom agreed, temporarily, but wanted proof. A DNA test was done. The result? Unclear. No solid answer, just more questions. And Bob, well, he wasn't around to speak for himself. Rita, still grieving, refused to sign anything that acknowledged Makeda as Bob's. She didn't want drama with another woman she never liked. But eventually, she handed the decision to Bob's mom. "You were there," she said. "Do what you think is right." And so, Makeda was accepted, added to the list of Marley's children. But her life didn't follow the fairy tale. At 18, she got her trust fund. But by her 20s, the money was gone. She was working as a waitress. Then came the arrest, caught with illegal plants at her home in Philly. Jail time. Headlines. But Makeda didn't give up. Today, she's turned her life around. She runs a legal cannabis business in New Jersey, works as a DJ, and speaks publicly about her journey, carving her own path as Makeda Marley, daughter of a legend, survivor of chaos. Bob Marley gave the world music, but he also left behind a tangled legacy of love, loyalty, and pain. Behind every song, there was a story, and behind every child, a woman with her own truth. So, what do you think? Was Bob just a man of his time, or did he leave behind more than he bargained for? Drop your thoughts below, and if you enjoyed the ride, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next unbelievable story.